Live. We are live. Yes.
Yes, we are. Hello, guys. Namaste, and welcome to the Cricket Podcast. So, the name of my podcast is What's Cooking. So, we will be discussing about the hot topics going on in cricket. Let's see how far it goes. And I'm your host, Somit Chintam, and I'll be kicking off my hosting career with this podcast. I would like to quickly introduce my guest. So, guests of the evening. Actually, I am the guest over here. But yeah, let's welcome the co-founder of this channel, and his name is Mr. Shubham Kulkarni, who is a data analyst, the senior most data analyst. Yeah, and then our next guest is the senior analyst of this Cricket Addicts WhatsApp group, the one who is always providing some good results with his Tableau data and everything, like analyzing a lot of stuffs and doing a lot of hard work for us so that we can analyze the data and get some insights about which player is doing what. Okay, and his name is none other than Mr. Kevin Mins. I don't know how
Woohoo!
to pronounce his surname, but I hope so. Like I did it in a correct way. But yeah. So a big virtual round of applause to everyone. So how are you doing, guys? Like, how is everything going on? And it's been a while. We have not done a podcast, and boom, we like let's start with something. India versus Bangladesh. There's a lot to discuss today. India versus Bangladesh. As I told you, this podcast will be known as What's Cooking. So what's the hot topics going on in cricket? So we'll be discussing a lot. Major focus will be on India versus Bangladesh, England versus Australia, and a lot of comparisons like who is great, Rishabh Pant, Ashwin, or MS Dhoni. A lot of people are comparing this centuries,
Anna for a
overseas
reason.
centuries, and
Anna for
Anna
a
for a
reason.
reason. Oh, okay. So here we got the answer. So, but we should analyze, right? You are a data analyst. I don't expect these kind of answers for you from you. Sorry. Yeah. So okay, okay. Looks good. And should we start now? Like,
Sure.
yeah. And let's start with India versus Bangladesh. Like Bangladesh and Mr. Shanto had some great moments, like including an opening day burst from Hassan Mahmood, the opener that threatened to have the host on the rope, India. And but the overall quality of the Indian batting lineup was really good. Like coupled with an excellent job by the home side. And if we talk a bit about players like Rishabh Pant, Akash Deep, and Ashwin, I would like to give some preference to them. First, let's start with Rishabh Pant. Like, how was it? How was his performance, and how do you look? Because he had some bad times, difficult times of his career. Like, came from his accident, from a major accident, and then performed really well in T20 World Cup, and mm, then starting off with a century in the test. So how was it? Do you have any insights on that? How he performed in this innings, and what do you look ahead for him? So I would start with Mr. Shubham Kulkarni, and then we
I
can move
thought
forward
I thought
to
Kevin
Kevin.
had a special interest in wicket keepers. Yeah, I think I'm audible, right?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, Kevin has a special interest in wicket keepers, whether it's Sanju Samson, Rishabh Pant, MS Dhoni. So if Kevin can would like to talk about this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can
So
go first, Kevin. Yeah.
yeah, I was really excited to see who's going to keep because you had KL Rahul keep in South Africa, and then you brought in Dhruv Jurel for that matter, and you have Rishabh Pant who's done really well in the IPL. He did well in T20s as well, in leading to the World Cup. And everyone was unsure as to the fitness level, as to whether he'll be able to keep for 80 plus overs. and it is a really good positive sign because you can't take an Indian team to Australia without having Rishabh Pant in the side, and you can't play him as a batsman because of the entertainment that he provides behind the stumps. So I was very happy to see the development with which with the way he played his game, and initially I was of the opinion that is he going to take things slowly, is he going to be cautious, is he going to start slow, but the way he played attacking cricket, and we can now officially say that Rishabh Pant is back, and it was good that I'm very happy for him that he got his century. I was watching through the highlights, and I think there was a drop catch in between. But I think when the stars have been aligned, and the way that he's the comeback that he's had in the last 2 years, I think we're very happy for him, and I'm really proud. Because we wanted to have we since Ganguly quit, and we didn't have the left hand in the overs to kind of like provide the entertainment, and he's done so. So I'm very happy for him, and yeah, let's see, like Australia becoming for the three-peat.
I think he is one of the person whose selection is not dependent on performance anymore. Rather, it's more dependent on his presence, right? What do you want to say, Shubham, on this?
Yeah, I think I completely agree with what Kevin mentioned so far about Rishabh Pant. A great comeback, that 109 in the second innings. Even in the first innings, if you watch the first innings, he was looking pretty comfortable until he got out to a loose shot outside the off stump. So he has always been in good touch in the test format, and as he said as well in one of the post match interviews, that this is the format which suits him the best. So definitely a great performance in the second innings. Also, I would like to talk about Shubman Gill as well. Now that we are talking about the second innings, Shubman Gill again is scoring another century. Okay, so am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. I think your camera is freezing. I think there's some technical issues at your side.
Yeah, yeah.
Now it's
Maybe,
good.
yeah.
Now it's good.
Yeah, but yeah, coming back to the second innings, I was talking about Shubman Gill now, third test 100 in the last five tests. So you saw the England series where he scored a couple of hundreds at Dharamshala and Vishakhapatnam in the second innings, and then this one as well. High quality innings, I would say. The partnership between these two was high quality, top notch. It was great fun to watch these young guys bat.
Yeah, he batted really well in the first innings, but played an unusual Rishabh Pant kind of shot, like outside off, and then threw his wicket. But second innings was really good. Like I think he had a drop catch, maybe.
Yeah.
Like yeah, yeah, and then okay, but that happens. That happens a lot of times. But he batted really well along with Shubman Gill. And if we talk about Shubman Gill also, if we can't compare these two because it's the roles are completely different. But Shubman Gill has to perform to stay in the team, but it's completely different for Rishabh Pant. Okay, his presence is more than enough. That's what I said earlier as well. And yeah, if we move forward, I also wanted to know about your thoughts on his aggression, solidity, and ability to access different areas of the ground, like Rishabh Pant's. So, what do you think on that? Like, he's always aggressive, first of all. Okay. So, what do you think on that? Will that help in BGT as well? Because he has done some amazing stuff in BGT earlier as well. So, what do you think on that? Anyone? I would like to go to Kevin first.
Yeah, it's difficult to say because with Bangladesh, even though you had Nahid Rana was bowling close to 140 clicks, he looked a little bit rusty. I think he just got carried away with the short ball tactic. So it's going to be it's going to be different in Australia because the pitches are going to offer you much more bounce, and the biggest challenge that he's going to face is going to be the battle we are looking forward to is Nathan Lyon versus Rishabh Pant, and so it's going to be like a gamble. Lion is going to bowl him. He's going to bowl it right outside off stump. He's going to loop it and trying to encourage him to take him on. And it's a- it's going to be a very, you can say, a chess kind of like a game that we're going to see back and forth. So it's something that I'm pretty excited about to see how we go from there. And the signs that he has shown that Rishabh Pant, normally. as an expert, you would want to see like are there some shots that he's not playing that he was playing before his injury, and coming back from injury has he stopped? But I think he's played all of them. He's doing well with cut shot. His step out is good. Footwork is good for a player of his caliber. He's not that tall, so he doesn't have to over the bounce. He doesn't have to stand over and try to take the ball on the bounce. But more his game is more of he tries to run down to the spinners and you kind of like take the bowlers on. So his footwork is very important for him, and he's more of a hand-eye coordination player. So the way he's performing, you can see that there is nothing that's missing in his game. So I feel technically he's good as well. And coming back to Shubman Gill, I'm very happy for him that he's doing well, because initially there was this chatter around him saying that he's not as effective as he is uh, up as an opener. At three, he seems a little lost, but he has got a lot of centuries now at number three, and one can argue that it's more of an Asian conditions, but I think he has a game to do well. So I think we're going to miss Pujara, because Pujara was someone who would um, kind of like take his time and very down to
Dependable.
bowlers. Yes,
Yeah.
he would. The reason that why India won in 2018 and to some extent uh, succeeded in 2021 was because you had someone like Pujara who kind of like ensure that the Australian bowlers bowled more than 80 overs almost every innings, and you're going to miss him in that aspect. So I think Shubman Gill might not fit in that role, but he's definitely going to get you the runs. And coming back to, I think I don't know which expert mentioned it, that he's one of the most technically solid players that we have had for a very long time. And I, th- I think I was looking forward to seeing whether we have pitches that uh, would be more batting friendly, just to encourage that our bowlers bowl a lot more overs. But I understand that this is the best that we could get from Bangladesh, and just because we had some seaming conditions overall, Bangladesh bowlers had a batsman in some trouble, and but thanks to Ashwin and Jadeja, despite being on the later side of 35, they still managed to do a very good job. So I think it's a lot of positives for us. They might be just struggling and sweating over Virat Kohli's fitness, not fitness, sorry, his form, because he's that you don't see him not getting runs for a very long time, and he was unfortunate in second innings to uh, not review that decision. But along with him, KL Rahul as well. KL Rahul has blown hot and cold. It's just one century, then there is nothing to uh, follow it up. So I think they might want some more runs from their number five. And with Australia's attack, the first two test matches are really crucial. So I hope he comes good at some point of time. I wish we had KL Rahul, miss the series and play domestic. I was of the opinion that maybe they could have just taken it slow with him, given him an opportunity to score runs at the domestic. Because just my opinion is that I feel that our Indian bowlers would test him more as compared to the Bangladesh bowlers. So instead of taking him, we could have had him play the New Zealand series, but they could have had him play the I think the Dulip Trophy and the Irani Cup, and then got him to play against New Zealand and Australia. But that's my opinion.
Yeah. So just to extend the conversation,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to talk on this point. Like during 2018 BGT, we
Yeah.
had Pant and Pujara. Okay. So not in 2018, also in 2021 as well. So we had Pant and Pujara. So what do you think? Who is that one person? We have Pant now as well, but who is that one person who can be our Pujara for BGT? Because we need that kind of person, okay? In BGT, one keeps on attacking like Pant and one keeps on defending like Pujara. So this question is to Shubham Kulkarni.
Yeah.
What do you think? Because I don't think so. Gill fits, as Kevin mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Gill is not a proper fit to be at Pujara's place in ICT. So, what do you think?
I agree with Kevin on that point. India will miss Pujara's style of play, because if you look at the top six, probably who could replicate what Pujara has done, and most likely can be a Kohli or a Rahul. You can't have a Gill or the top three, Rohit Sharma, Jaiswal, or Gill. playing like Pujara, because they're naturally attacking. They have all the
Hmm.
shots in the book. You look at Pujara, he has very less shots. He has like limited number of shots. So that's why he has like a strong defensive game. So when you look at the top three, which India will go on to play in Australia, Rohit Sharma, Jaiswal, and Gill, all have a fantastic shot making ability. And the main question which you ask is, I don't think anybody can replicate what Pujara has done. At most, Kohli and Rahul can try and hold one end up, whereas the other guys which you mentioned, Rohit, Jaiswal, Gill, and Pant at number five, probably can attack from the other end. But if you ask who will be the key batters going to Australia, I think it's India's top four. India's top four needs to score big runs, including Virat Kohli. So when I say top four, I say Rohit Sharma, Jaiswal, right hand, left hand combination. Fantastic opening combination so far, but a big test for Yashasvi Jaiswal. He has scored tons of runs in
It
India,
is.
two double hundreds against England, one big hundred against West Indies in West Indies. But playing against Australia in Australia is going to be a big challenge. That
It's
too
a
at the
challenge.
yeah,
Yeah.
that too at the age of 22. So he will be tested with the bounce. But having said that, I think he has the right mindset and the technique to succeed in Australia. So I think India's top four will be key. I mean, I know there is a lot of talk about Rishabh Pant at number five, but he has troubled Australia in the last two series. If I remember correctly, 2018 scored a 115 in Sydney. 2021, obviously, everybody knows that famous 97 at SCG, and then 89 not out at Gabba. These
Hmm.
four bowlers will definitely plan heavily against him. He won't find it
Yeah.
easy, is what my opinion is. You have Nathan Lyon, as Kevin mentioned, Mitchell Stark, Pat Cummins, Josh Hazelwood. Everybody will come up with at least a couple of plans against Rishabh Pant. So it's not going to be easy for him. I think India's top four will remain key as we go towards November and December for the BGT.
But Nathan Lyon was talking about crushing India 4-0. Like,
I
yeah.
think that's a bit too ambitious, but I feel that Australia do start as favorites because of the home conditions. Even though India has won the last couple of series, I would like to hear Kevin's opinion on this as well. But 4-0 is a bit too much. I expect India to win at least a couple of matches, if not more than that.
But it's fair enough. Like, you always want your team to win,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah,
if you're going on the field saying that okay, this series will be 2-2 all or 3-1 Australia, so you don't have that. What should I say? I'm not getting
confidence,
any words with
confidence. Yeah,
confidence. Yeah, yeah. You don't have that
everybody
confidence.
does.
So
Yeah.
there is some lack of confidence as well. So going on the field with 4-0, whitewashing the opponent. So yeah. So that's, but you can also consider it as overconfidence. But yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, I agree with Nathan Lyon as well.
I
Yeah,
think the series is evenly matched out. Um, the Australian batting is not settled. If they had Steve Smith at number four, I would have said yeah, maybe 3-0, 4-0, it's possible. But you have your best batsman, whom if
mm,
you ask the Indian bowlers, is the one Australian batsman they would be wary of. They would say Steve Smith, and you're having him open the innings. So he's going to be facing Bumrah, Shami, for that matter. Who knows? You might have even Ashwin bowling pretty soon to him because you have Khwaja at the other end. So I feel
yeah,
that that's poor planning, poor strategizing because you have two players in Cam Green and Mitch Marsh whom you can kind of like push to open the batting. You can't have Travis Head opening because he's best at number five, where he is where there's that phase in the test match, just when the bowlers are tired, waiting for the new ball where he can accelerate. So you don't want to move him from number five to open the innings, and you don't want the
exactly.
risk of having two lefties bat together as well because your entire batting is right hand dominant after that. So you have Manas at three, you bring Steve Smith at four, you have Travis at five, and you can have either Cam Green or Mitch Marsh at six. Now I was having a conversation with Shubham and I said that you have Mitch Marsh who's averaging just 30 in test matches, hardly bowls. So you can use him as a pinch hitter like Aaron Finch of the order. It might not work, but the days that it might work, it will definitely take pressure off Usman Khwaja for that matter. And you can have Marnus and Steve Smith bat out time. So from that perspective, I think the planning is a little skewed. The coming back to the result, I feel India's batting isn't that bad, and the bowling is really good. And we have the advantage that I feel that we have is we have backup bowlers. Australia doesn't have backup bowlers. They just have. It's been for years since 2017. Just been there. It's just been Stark, Hazelwood, Cummins, and Lyon. They have not invested much time.
Scott
Scott
Boland.
Boland came, and he's. I don't think he's even played 20 Test matches. I'm not sure. My maths might be wrong. I don't think he has 20 Test matches experience as well. And he's 34, 35 now. So. Um, luckily when Australia had their when they're playing the Ashes in 2021, I presume they lost some of the bowlers to COVID and injury. I think Hazel missed out. There was no Cummins as well, and they were forced to get in Michael Neser, Scott Boland, and Jai Richardson. So that was the only time they had these guys in. But they were lucky that England's batting was really bad. So if going into the test matches, if India somehow or whichever team manages to bat 100 overs, I think the pressure is going to be on because uh, I don't remember the last time we reached a situation where our bowlers were bowling. You can say were made to bowl more than 100 overs. I think Ahmedabad 2023 I think was closest where we got a flat wicket, and our bowlers had to bowl, but that was the fourth match of the test series. But if you have such a certain pitch like in the first or the second test match, I think it's going to be trouble for whichever team whichever team's batting lets them down. I think it's going to be a problem for the bowlers, and that's where I mentioned that we had someone like Cheteshwar Pujara who would bat time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for him, that tactic didn't do well in New Zealand because he kind of like he batted too much time, and it was time for the new ball to come in, and that's why we were wrapped out pretty quickly because he was not looking at opportunities to score. But the same thing
Yeah.
won't happen in Australia. So
Makes sense. Yeah.
I
Makes
think it's
sense.
going to be more of which batting lineup takes. It's more of being patient, and the way Test cricket has been played post I think around 2015 onwards, it's more of we're having a lot of result-oriented pitches. So if we have something like that for the BJT, I think it will be good and bad as well because you know you don't want to go into you don't play your 5 days on test matches as the first and second test match because you will need a break for your bowlers going into the later stage of the series. So
Yeah.
it's difficult to predict, but I think it's going to be much more balanced. It's not going to be dominated, at the toss itself. It's going to be on who
Yeah.
breaks first. So yeah.
Yeah. Each and every point makes sense. Yeah. And if we come back to the present now, we talked a lot about BGT, but I would like to link with BGT as well when we come to present because um, the second player I want to pick after Rishabh Pant, of course, we talked a lot about Rishabh Pant and his presence and his dominance, but if we if I would like to pick the second player, I would say it should be Akashdeep and not someone else like Gill or Jadeja because he impressed me. Like didn't ball much in the test. He was used like sparingly in both innings with 5 or 6 overs, I think respectively, picking up 2 wickets. I would rate it as a good performance, not the best, but because you're just playing your second test, right? Second test match of your career, and he did hit the right lens, I would say, consistently and forced several false shots from the Bangladeshi batters. So now, why pointing out Akashdeep over here is as India looks to build towards an important, like a good squad, right, for the Australian BGT. Okay, so I think he might be one of the bowlers which we are looking for. Of course, we have Siraj, we have Bumrah, we have Shami, but we don't have that fourth bowler, I think. There were many players who came in, who went out, but I think India might be looking for him. So that's why India is giving him some chances. It's okay. They are providing him chances on home grounds to check how he's doing and check his abilities to perform in such conditions. But yeah, what do you see in Akashdeep, and what do you think? Is it a fair chance to give him giving him the opportunity in Indian team to play in a test on home conditions? What do you think of him?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
first of all, what I would like to mention is that what works in his favor is he has played 33 first class matches. If I'm not wrong, around 120 first class wickets as well at an average of 22. So that suggests that he has done the hard work in the domestic circuit, and that has earned his way to the test team. And if you look at his performance, as you mentioned, two wickets in the first innings, back to back wickets, in fact, and two big wickets as well. Mominul Haq is a pretty consistent batter for Bangladesh. He got him out on a first ball duck. If you look at his first test as well, first morning, if I'm not wrong, he played the Ranchi test, the fourth test, first morning. And he got the wickets of Ben Duckett, Ollie Pope, and Zach Crawley. That was a fantastic spell of fast bowling on debut in Indian conditions. Remember, Indian conditions don't really suit for the fast bowlers. You have to be a Jasprit Bumrah to pick up four wickets in India. And coming to
Yeah.
your second point, whether he can make it to Australia, I think he's definitely going to Australia as one of the fast bowlers, because as you mentioned, the top three which India are looking at are Bumrah, Shami, Siraj, provided Shami is fit, and then the fourth pacer I look at is Akashdeep. Apart from that, they might look at Prasidh Krishna, Mukesh Kumar, Avesh Khan, whoever is bowling well in that period. But Akashdeep definitely is traveling to Australia as the fourth seamer, and he will get a couple of games. But what I would like to see is hopefully he gets the second game as well. They could rest. I would like if they rest Jasprit Bumrah for the second test at Kanpur and play Siraj and Akashdeep, because the more game time he gets, just the better for him.
Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. And do you want to add something about Akashdeep, Kevin?
No, my views completely resonate with what Shubham said, and I agree. I think he's the best that we have in the reserves. I don't know what happened to Prasidh Krishna. I think he's pretty injured, and
Mhm.
uh, uh, as compared to what I saw in the English series as well, I think he can be skiddy, so he can be a good. I think he'll do a good job replacing someone like Mohammad Shami. I don't think he can. The way Siraj bowls is slightly different to what Shami is. I think he has that ability to make the ball skid, and it'll be a good asset to have. And I'm pretty happy that we had him for the first Test match. I wish to see him that he gets. I, I hope they don't drop him for the second Test match. If they can rest one of the senior players, but the more he bowls, it'll be good because uh, it shouldn't happen that we have an Ollie Robinson kind of like um a situation where he's not ready to bowl 20, 30 overs over 2 days, which is something that I feel might happen if the pitches are flat in Australia. So you don't want him to
Gotcha.
you want him because now the advantage that we're having with the five bowlers in Asian conditions is that our quickies our quick bowlers get an opportunity to bowl short spells, and they're pretty much effective. But in Australia, it's not going to happen like that. We might require our bowlers to bowl longer spells, 6 overs. If they're doing well, maybe go up, push themselves to eight. Um, when I think about Australia and long spells, I remember Neil Wagner, who had this ability to bowl 10 overs in a spell, and that showed a lot of courage and fitness levels. So I think our bowlers might need to prepare for that kind of situation. But unfortunately, the opposition that we have, I don't think Bangladesh can kind of like force us to uh, you know take the game that deep. Because the quality of attack that we have, I don't see. It'll be great to see if they get to even 300 runs in an innings, because our bowling lineup is so experienced and so good
Yeah.
that we can bowl these magic balls even on dead lifeless tracks. So
But
from
I
whatever I've
think.
seen, I
Mhm.
think he's good. I think he's edged himself slightly above Mukesh Kumar, and it's a good sign to see a bowler come from Bengal and doing well.
Yeah, but I think for the second test, maybe Mohammad Siraj would come in. I'm not sure. Maybe what's going on in selectors' minds, not sure about that. But Mohammad Siraj can make it into the playing 11.
I thought he
But
was
yeah,
playing. He didn't play. I'm sorry.
He did
wait.
play. He did play the first
Oh,
test.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry. Then my bad. Yeah, my bad.
yeah. There
So
is
who was
there
the
is
okay?
there is this there is this notion that I think they would like to have three spinners for the next test, but
Yeah, I
I'm not
think
sure.
Kanpur three spinners will be more suitable. Obviously, Chennai as well. You expected three spinners to play, but the pitch on the first day, as Kevin messaged me, if I'm not wrong, at 1:34 a.m. in Atlanta and in USA, EST, basically saying that the pitch looks spicy and green.
Oh
It
yeah.
was damp and it was an overcast condition. So yeah, obviously both teams played in with three fast bowlers, which was not a common thing which we see in India.
Yeah, I was hoping that they would go for a more flatter track that would kind of like boost the confidence of a batsman as well, because you want him to get some runs. I saw this clip of that drop catch of Rishabh Pant where KL Rahul was almost ready to, his parody was just ready to go down and score some runs, and unfortunately the catch got dropped and he just sat back and he couldn't make anything substantial in the second innings. But I wish that we had a flat batting track so that way a batsman would just get some runs under the belt, because I feel if India are going to do well in BGT, a lot will depend on KL Rahul's success. Why is because you might end up in a situation where we lose early wickets, and you there will be this consolidation phase, and I don't expect someone like Rishabh Pant to play to kind of like leave balls and play a patient innings. You want him to play counter attack and counter attacking innings, and you want someone at the other end to hold fort, and that's where I feel KL Rahul has the ability to do it. You have Rishabh Pant, you have sorry Shubman Gill batting above him and KL Rahul below him. So that way, these two batsmen I feel have this ability who can when the chips are down, and because they are pretty much in the peak in their peak you can say the peak form, that's where I feel that they can do well. I wish I could say the same thing for Virat Kohli, but I understand that he is now on the later side of 35, so there's not much that you can expect from him that he has not done to do it again. But you would want these youngsters to come and support him, and that's where I felt that maybe having a flat pitch would help the a batsman do well, because you want them to go and confidently into the series ahead.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Kevin. So moving forward now, any guesses who would have topped the list for India? Of course, it's Ravi Ashwin. Like what a legend he is. Although it wasn't a surprise since Ash is one of India's greatest ever Test players, and he's still going on. So yeah, he's still going on strong. But the fact that the veteran all-rounder was close to his best in both departments, like he bowled really well, he batted really well. Like a lot of positives actually, a lot of positive takeaways for the team. So if we talk about the last home assignment against England, I don't think so he was that good like how he played against Bangladesh. Of course the team matters a lot over here, but he was lacking a bit of consistency, I would say, because what I have seen over there is the England batters were attacking Ashwin, and because of that he was lacking some consistency, and he might have lost his rhythm over there. But he did really well, like in the first innings, offering so much. Like he could play a crucial role even down, like even at the lower order. So that's really good. And I've seen he didn't do much in overseas conditions, but excluding West Indies, I would say. Of course, he has some centuries in West Indies as well. But he has really batted well when India lost first five immediate wickets. He and Jadeja built that partnership in the first innings, and in second innings in the first innings he was not able to get wickets. He took zero wickets, but in the second innings he was back with a bang. He took six for in that. So any words of compliments for Ashwin? And what do you see? I want you all to link this to BGT as well, because Australian conditions are a bit different. Not a bit. It's completely different than English conditions, because in England we have also seen, being the number one Test bowler, he was not able to get into the WTC final playing 11. But in Australia, Ashwin has done some really good job. Like even even he has some good competition in the opponent team as well. Like Nathan Lyon is there, but I want y'all to link Ashwin's performance to BGT. How you would see him performing over there, and yeah, I would like to have some thoughts on that. So first, I would like to go with Shubham, and
Yeah.
then Kevin can follow. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned R. Ashwin might not have been at his best in the England series. Guess what? He was the leading wicket taker in that series. 26 wickets in 5 test matches at an average of 24.8. That is despite not being at his best. And you are right, because in the first couple of test matches it seemed like he was still finding his length. He didn't get as many wickets as he used to get. But then in the third, fourth, fifth test he picked it up and picked up 5 wicket hauls, especially in his 100 test as well. I think he picked up a 5 wicket haul in the first innings, if I'm not wrong. Over 500 test wickets now. And as you mentioned, at the age of 38, he put up a performance where he could contribute in both the departments: six test century in the first innings and then a 37th 5 wicket haul, equaling the great Shane Warne, the great late Shane Warne, with the number of 5 wicket hauls. Asking about the BGT, that's a tough question, and I would like to bring in Kevin as well in here, because you look at the schedule of the Border Gavaskar Trophy, and before that, let's go a bit behind. As Somit mentioned, he couldn't find a place in the WTC final 2023. He couldn't find a place in the England Test series, if you remember. Kohli kept on picking Jadeja, and the journalists kept on asking him why they are picking Jadeja, and he said that there will be foot marks outside the left-handers off stump on the fourth and fifth day, and he was right. Whether it was Oval 2021, if you remember correctly, Jadeja picked up the two key wickets. So, but yeah, going back, as Somit mentioned, he has not found a place whenever India has played overseas. And the first two test matches, I'm coming back to this point. The first two test matches, the first is at Perth, Waka, not Waka, sorry, the Optus Stadium. Perth, obviously, you expect bounce for the fast bowlers, a pitch conducive to the fast bowlers. And the second game is at Adelaide, but it's a pink ball test. Kevin, will India go in with two spinners for these two tests? Because Jadeja is a lock in. You have your three pacers. If fit, you have Bumrah, Shami, Siraj. Who plays at number 8? Is it Ashwin, or India will try and play a seam bowling all rounder, especially at Perth and Adelaide? Because MCG SCG, you expect a player like Ashwin to get in the side. Ashwin Jadeja could form a formidable pair. First two tests, what are your thoughts? Because that's something which India need to take a call on, because Khwaja, Travis Head, Steve Smith as well. He's got out Marnus a couple of times. What are your thoughts on this?
Uh, it depends, like what the Indian team is thinking. Are they feeling that, are they confident of their bowling, or are they and not sure about their batting? Based on that, the selection has to be made. Now the current way I'm saying, you have Virat Kohli, who's not got runs. Rohit Sharma, I don't remember. I think he got a century in the England series,
He
but
got two
he hasn't.
centuries in the England series, yeah.
Yeah, so he has not had I don't think he has had a great overseas record for that matter. So you are anyway, you're batting thin. So if you want to strengthen up your batting, if you want to go that way, then it makes sense to pick just one spinner and pick a fourth bowler, seam bowler. But I feel at this point of time, initially, I feel for the first test match, I think we can have both of them, Ashwin as well as Jadeja, play in the playing 11 and follow the same success that we had in Melbourne, where you had Ashwin and Jadeja both play along with the three seam attack. Because you have Khwaja and Head, where Ashwin will come into play, and you have Smith and Labuschagne, where Jadeja will come into play. Also, Green and Mitch Marsh are not very good players of spin. I know Green got a century in Ahmedabad, but I feel I'm not seen enough in Test match cricket to say that they've been really good against quality spinners. So based on uh, the current form that I'm seeing from, especially with respect to KL Rahul, um, I feel that they need to play two spinners and three pacers, at least for the first Test match, and then take a call. Because I feel I remember last time Virat Kohli got a century in the Optus Stadium, and I think Nathan Lyon, I'm not sure if he took a
Picked up
five
five
for or
wickets.
no.
Picked up
Oh
five
yes, he
wickets.
did.
Yeah.
Yes, I know he got four, but I was not sure the fifth. So I
He
would
got
have.
five in the first innings, I think, and four in the second innings. He got a lot of wickets, if I'm not wrong, in
Yeah.
that match. And India hadn't picked a spinner. Kohli went in with four fast bowlers. It was Ishant Sharma, Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Shami, and Umesh Yadav, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, I agree with Kevin there. I will tell you my point of view on this, because who is the other option? Historically, over the last 3 years, India has played Shardul Thakur at number 8 instead of Ashwin. Now you look at Shardul Thakur, he doesn't give you confidence with the ball or with the bat. So I think that Ashwin will bowl better than Thakur. Ashwin will bat better than Thakur. Then why not just pick Ashwin? I know the conditions might not suit him, but
Conditions, yeah.
he can hold one end up. And see, the problem with Thakur is he's going to give runs at 3.5 runs per over, irrespective of the conditions, whether it's seaming, swinging, whether you have bounce, he's going to give runs at 3.5 runs per over. But at the same time, he can give you those two crucial wickets out of nowhere. So it's a dilemma with Thakur. But Ashwin will, you will get a confirm thing with Ashwin that he will hold one end up. He can trouble Smith. He did in the last series, and as Kevin mentions, Khwaja, Head, and also Alex Carey at number 7. So there's three left-handers there, and Ashwin against left-handers, we all know. So that's a call which India will need to take, and I think they will take as and when they go to Australia. But it's a very very important call. Make no mistake, it's a very important call which could decide the series.
So what if there's one option you have to pick between Ravi Ashwin and Ravi Jadeja? So what do you think? Where will the selectors go?
I think
It depends. My
Jadeja is
opinion
a
is
lock
it.
in. Yeah,
Yeah, for me
sorry.
it depends whether the batting is strong or the bowling is strong. If I want a strong bowler, I go for Ashwin for sure in Australia. But if I want someone to bat for me, then I prefer Jadeja. Although
Mhm.
Ashwin is no mug with the bat, and I feel that Ashwin can do the role that Pujara can do. He's good against pace. So, but still, if I want runs, I don't want to bat time, then I would go for Jadeja because he can play attacking innings, and his game has, especially since I've been watching following, his game has improved. He has added more shots into his armory. It's just not the you can say the more of a mid wicket. He has improved considerably. So from that perspective, I depends because my always criticism with Jadeja has been that he just doesn't have much pace variations. It's more of just landing the ball on that spot, expecting the pitch to do well. He fires in those balls at 90, 94. But Ashwin is really pretty skilled. He can mix it up things. He can loop it. There's drift, and also as a from a bowling perspective, I would go with Ashwin. But it depends. Where do I need to strengthen my bowling or do I strengthen my batting? The way the Indian team is thinking currently, I'm pretty sure they'll what Shubham has said. They prefer Jadeja because Jadeja has done well uh, on all our overseas tests, and he'll go into the series more confident as compared to Ashwin.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
So
quickly, Jadeja. Talking about Jadeja, I think he's one of India's best batters in the last 4 years, averaging over 40. And I agree with Kevin that he doesn't have any variations, but whatever he has, it has worked so far. If you can average below 25 or around 25 with the ball, I think it's pretty good enough in Test cricket. I think more than good enough, obviously. And Jadeja is the best all rounder in the world right now. So, as Kevin mentions, if they want a player who wants to who can bat at number 7 and bowl, then it's Jadeja. If you're talking about number 8, then you're looking at Ashwin.
yeah, thank you so much. So I have a question,
Yeah.
and I know that Thala fans will get pissed off with this, but at this point, leaving the captaincy thing, what do you think? Rishabh Pant overtook MS Dhoni in records or anything like in keeping records and those kind of things. What do you guys think? Leaving captaincy, okay?
I think Dinesh Karthik made a really great point on Crickbuzz Live if you got some time to watch it. But he said that Dhoni played 90 test matches.
Hmm.
Rishabh Pant has played just 33 test matches. So let him reach there. He can
Yeah,
get there. He can get there. But I know what you're talking about. Six test centuries already. Dhoni has test
I'm
centuries.
talking
So
about the impact.
yeah,
Yeah.
the impact is huge. The impact is huge. Now just look at the numbers. Six test centuries, six nineties, and his most important innings is a 89 not out.
Hmm.
That's the big impact he has had so far, and in just 33 tests. So yeah, It's huge. It's huge. The impact is huge. But at the same time, as Dinesh Karthik said, let him play those many test matches, because that itself is a great thing as well. To play for such a long time, to play 80, 90, 100 tests, and to keep getting picked for your nation, that's also a pretty great skill to have.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
difficult to judge for me because you have to understand that when Dhoni played, the
Mhm.
it was a transition phase. So there's one phase where the batting team was so strong. So even though if he had an option to score, 100 or or a 50 as well, but the team had already batted and scored such a big score that there was hardly any time for him to come in. So
Yeah,
you can't judge his overseas centuries from that perspective. And even
yeah,
when the team didn't do well and he was in a good position to score the centuries, he came in so late that that there was no chance for him to complete a century. The only criticism that I think is valid, that maybe as the senior most player in the team, he could have pushed himself up to 5 to 4. Like you see Rishabh Pant coming in early. He's not batting at 7. He's batting
Yeah.
at 5. I don't know if he's batted at 4 as of now, but I know he's coming in at 5 and 6. So that is a criticism that you can hold against him, but it's very difficult to say because uh, the conditions were different at that time. The phase that that they're going through, it's difficult to say. This series, I think, will be a very good testament to, and might give us a foundation to say where, like, how good he is. There's no doubt that he's done well in the past, but the reason I don't give him that you can say that I don't surrender my case is because I feel that there is still more for us to see. We just can't judge the successes. You have to judge the failures as well, because initially when he came out, nobody knew what to expect from him. Now people know what to expect. They'll plan whether he can
yeah,
still deliver as per promise. That is something that we are going to look forward to. So as of now, I can say that he's definitely better than Dinesh Karthik for matter, better than Deep Das Gupta as well for that matter. But
yeah.
when it comes to MS
Yeah,
Dhoni, I
unfortunately,
think I need
Deepdas
to wait a bit.
Gupta. I mean, we are better than Deepdas Gupta when we talk about talking cricket, not playing cricket, talking cricket. But yeah, just a last
Yeah,
point. One of the best innings by an Indian wicketkeeper was 224 at Chennai against Australia.
yeah,
Hope you guys get some time to watch that. India were in some sort of trouble, and he forged a partnership with Bhuneshwar Kumar, getting to his double hundred. I'm talking about obviously MS Dhoni's innings in 2013, and India whitewashed Australia, if I'm not wrong,
Yeah.
4-0. So yeah, definitely.
yeah. But what I think over here is like one of the most important variables are like he was the captain. Like
Yeah.
that kind of pressure was there on him, maybe. And Rishabh Pant is not the captain. So we can't compare, but I just wanted to know your point of view if we remove that captaincy thing. But actually, we can't, and we should not because pressure was completely
Definitely.
different on, yeah, different players. So, yeah. And yeah, now if we move forward and let's go to England versus Australia, what's happening over there? England trashed Australia in the latest game, but still Australia has the upper hand over the ongoing series. Like they are 2-1. They lead the series by 2-1. And this will be a series to watch actually. Like England giving a fight back. Which can make this series more exciting by making it 2-all, and then everyone will be excited for the last one. So, what do you guys think? Will England be able to take this series to the last match, or will it be 3-1 Australia in the next one? And the way that, like they were striking. If we talk more about Harry Brooks, so yeah, any views on that?
So yeah, I think Kevin has mentioned a couple of times on the group as well. This England ODI team or this England white ball team is in transition. We recently read that Brendan McCallum will take over as the white ball coach as well in January. From January, right now Marcus Trescottic is the interim coach. So that's the reason why they haven't been able to play to their full potential like they did in that 2015. Sorry, 2016 to 2017 to 2020 era, 2016 to 2020 era under Ian Morgan, when they had the likes of Jason Roy, Johnny Bairstow, Joss Butler, Ben Stokes, Ian Morgan himself. So there is a bit of a transition going on there, but the potential is right up there. I think, as you mentioned, Harry Brooks smashing his first ODI, and you have the likes of Liam Livingston at number 6, number 7. Jacob Bethel looks like a good talent. You have Ben Duckett and Phil Salt to open the innings, and then Will Jacks, the famous RCB player. He has scored 4 half centuries in 10 matches, so he is definitely a one to watch out for. But I think Australia do will remain favorites for the rest couple of games, because they're pretty much at full strength. I would say they have Smith, Marnus. Apart from Pat Cummins, they have the bowling attack as well. Zampa missed the last game, which is why I think England managed to chase that total down. But I think Australia are the better side in this series. Having said that, England, once they get that combination right, you need to see who is coming back for the Champions Trophy. Obviously, Butler will be there. Whether Stokes makes a comeback under Brendan McCallum's coaching, who is going to open the innings? Phil Salt, Ben Duckett, whether they bring back Johnny Bairstow. A lot of questions in the England cap right now, and I would like to hear Kevin's point of view as well on this.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited with what England is doing. I'm a little disappointed with what Australia is doing because I'm not understanding their strategy. I can understand England is building up towards the Champions Trophy. So you see the players that are coming in are playing in those particular positions. I'm very excited with the development of Harry Brook because I felt that that number 4 position since Morgan left was vacant. We had Moeen Ali come in and play there, and I think Stokes was
Ben
playing over
Stokes,
there.
yeah, Ben
But
Stokes.
now you have Harry Brook come in, and he's done well. He's got his century, which is good. I'm happy for Will Jacks as well because I felt that he was not doing well. He didn't have a good T20 record as well, despite doing well in the IPL. But he's come in and he's got some runs. Phil Salt has looked just a little more a T20 player, and he's not. He's got that 100 during the COVID season against Pakistan, but I feel that he needs to take his time a bit. He's not yet in that Sehwag Warner kind of like mode. He needs to take his time. But I'm very impressed with Ben Duckett, and it's good to see England have a good left-hander at the top.
Going forward, do you see a Duckett Crawley combination in the ODI setup as well?
Yes, I feel that Zach Crawley might come in at some point of time. I just now they're going ahead with Phil Salt because I feel that they want to give him his opportunity. He's one of the most experienced players that they have. So that way they want to keep the continuity in, but I think at some point of time we might see Zach Crawley come in. I think he has a more complete game as compared to Phil Salt. But I'm happy from England's perspective because even the way they're rotating their bowlers, they brought back Sakim Mahmood, who I felt did really well in for Oval Invincibles, and even the development of Liam Livingstone. We've seen him do well in T20s. I want to see what he can do in ODIs because it would be right to say that he was a disappointment in the 2023 World Cup. He didn't do deliver much despite doing well in the series against New Zealand and England. So from that perspective, I'm very happy with what I'm seeing. I don't know Joss Butler how many years more he has. Whether he can provide them a stability and solidity down the order. It'll be great to see if he can pull through. I definitely think he'll be there till the Champions Trophy. But the way that the England team is shaping, it's looking exciting. Jofra Archer, I think, has he needs to he's still raw, pretty rusty. So I don't see him have that edge since he's come back. He's been taken for a lot of runs, but I understand the Australian team is really good against pace. Coming back to Australian team, I'm surprised that they have Matthew Short open the innings with Travis Head. Travis Head has been evergreen. He's doing really well.
He is, yeah,
Yeah. So
exceptional player.
he's doing pretty well. I don't know who. I think Mitchell Marsh is someone that they are look keen on. I've seen Mitchell Marsh's stats. He's looking good, but I'm not pretty convinced whether he's the right person to open. I think they're just using him as like a firecracker. If he can get them quick 50s, quick starts, it'll be great. But yeah,
So
I'm
now
not
going
convinced.
forward, who do you see opening with Travis Head? Is it Jake Fraser McGurk? Is it Mitchell Marsh? Or do they push somebody else?
The way the Australian team set up, I think they'll persist with Mitchell Marsh. They don't, unlike India, we tend to get a little excited with youngsters. We want to push them pretty early into the mix. We did it with Prithvi Shaw, and unfortunately, we've lost him. But I think that his issues are due to his you can say lack of drive to stay fit. But coming back to, I don't, I think there is still time for Jake Fraser-Maycock. I think he needs to get more runs in domestic cricket before he can make a claim. But currently, the best opener that they have, I feel Mitchell Marsh is the best opener they have to partner Travis Head. Three solid Steve Smith. Four, you have Marnus.
Marnus 5, you have Green, and then you can come in, get in Maxwell and Carey,
Yes,
obviously.
the interesting article that I was reading is now what happens to Josh Inglis. He was doing really well for them in T20s. Did suddenly out of the mix, he was brought into the World Cup. Did well, decently enough. Now you have Carey come in. Carey's advantage. He's one of the only the few left-handers in the side, and he's doing really well. So do I see a situation where you can have both Carey and Inglis play? I'm not sure, but as of now, I think Carey is the number one keeper for them. You have I want to see what they're doing with Maxwell over there. I think they might just push him to play till the Champions Trophy. After which I feel that Matthew Short is their replacement for Glenn Maxwell. So whenever there's an opener missing, they either play in Matthew Short, or whenever they don't have Maxwell, they're trying to have Matthew Short bat in the top three. So I feel that uh, just a backup for Maxwell is Matthew Short at the moment. Marcus Stoinis, I think they might, he's there in the mix, but their long-term
Yeah, I think he
replacement
is the
is
guy missing from this series, right? Marcus Stoinis would be in the full strength ODI side.
yes.
Yeah.
And from the bowling perspective, I'm a little disappointed with what I'm seeing, but I can't blame them as well because of the injuries that are there in place. But I was disappointed that they didn't pick a spinner. And I was just talking to Shubham, and I felt that maybe they could have had Mitchell Swepson uh, or someone, or maybe even Ashton Agar for that
I
matter.
think Mitchell Swepson is out of the radar now. I think it's
Yes.
Tanveer Sangha, the new guy they're looking at. He played in 2023, if I'm not wrong. So he's the leg spinner they're looking at. And obviously, Ashton Agar has been around, but I think they are just picked. I think they just go in with Zampa, and then Maxwell is their second spinner these days. They don't need another one.
Yeah, because we saw them completely get exposed in that game against England. There was nobody over there who could kind of like stop Harry Brook. I feel that maybe if they had a leg spinner in there, we could see something interesting. But the way the series is going, I'm pretty excited about it. I feel that maybe Australia might, if they play their best 11, I think they might be able to close it the series pretty early.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. And do you guys know that this was before this match, Australia won 14 games. It was a win streak, and England just broke that streak.
Out
So
of
it was.
which 9 or 10 came in the ODI World Cup, if I'm not
Oh,
wrong.
wait,
Then
Yeah.
wait, wait. No, 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 no. Let's not discuss
yes.
that. Yeah. It would be so nice if we would have got that one W out of those 14, right? Like, and you guys know how important W is because W ke niche hi mal hai. So it was, it's depressing. Like, let's not
Yeah,
talk
but
about that
I
because,
just watched the 2024 T20 World Cup. You know, the
oh,
ODI
yeah, yeah,
was
yeah.
good.
Then it's good. Then it's good.
Yes.
Yeah. And yeah, it was really nice to talk to you guys and yeah, getting back to our podcast, it was pleasure having you guys, and thank you so much, Kulkarni sir,
Let's
for
Can we
giving me this
quickly discuss
opportunity.
the Sri Lanka New Zealand series as well? Just quickly. We
Oh
have
yeah,
another
sure.
5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I have room booking till 9, but yeah, we can. No one's there, so yeah.
I mean, if it's the hurricane going on, then nobody is coming to the library. So
Wait, how should I go back home? That's one of the main things to
cricket
discuss over
might
here.
then sponsor your travel
You
back
guys
home.
can go ahead and talk about SL versus New
Yeah.
Zealand.
So I
Yeah.
think Kevin was waiting for this point because we all know that his favorite team, New Zealand, is
Oh,
playing a
okay.
very important series. Unfortunately, Kevin, New Zealand didn't get a single day of cricket against that Afghanistan test, which was going to happen in Lucknow, if I'm not wrong, or sorry, Greater Noida.
Noida.
Yeah, Greater Noida, and that game never happened. But Sri Lanka are really strong at home, and they have shown why, because they have taken a 1-0 lead against New Zealand, despite New Zealand getting a first innings lead of around 30-35 runs, if I'm not wrong, or more than that. Quick thoughts on the game before I come to Sri Lanka. Let's discuss about New Zealand. I think these three were the positives for them. William Rourke, Ajaz Patel with a 6 for in the second innings, and Rachin Ravindra, the only guy who could manage some score in the second innings. But how do you look at the game? Do you think it is a lost opportunity for New Zealand because they could have get got a probably 70-80 run lead and then could have been chasing just 240 in the last innings, which looked possible?
Yeah, I think so. They missed the plot in the first innings. I think that run out of Dal Mitchell with
Hmm.
Glenn Phillips, I think that was not needed, and I think that turned the game uh, for Sri Lanka. I think had he continued, I'm pretty sure that New Zealand would have maybe a 70-run lead. But in the second innings, also maybe they could have bowled a bit better. Was what I felt, and the selection of Mitchell Santon, I think, didn't serve its purpose. Even though Sri Lanka had a lot of right-handers, I think he was not able to um, kind of like provide the breakthrough. And New Zealand might just look at replacing with maybe Michael Brace just because they want that extra batsman. It's unfortunate for them that Devin Conway, since his breakout year in Test cricket, hasn't done much. He's been on the downward spiral, and he's neither been providing the runs nor providing the solidity. And like always with New Zealand, it's you have Ken Williamson batting pretty early. He's just he's become the 10 for 1 man for them, and I was impressed with the way that he played attacking shots. I didn't expect him to, play a lot of come down the wicket, place, hit a few sixes in the entire Test match. So that was exciting. The good positive for them is Tom Latham and Darren Mitchell using the sweep and the reverse sweep to get runs, which is exciting, and I'm very excited about Rachin Ravindra, especially post the World Cup. I know he didn't have a great IPL. He started off well, tapered off, then just finished off well. T20 World Cup also didn't do much. Even the uh,
MLC?
the MLC as well, he didn't score a lot of runs. So I'm happy that he's saved these runs for the important series in India. And I feel that if he does well, the teams will be looking at him, with a lot of expectations when it comes to the IPL auction. So from that perspective, I'm very happy with what I've
Keep
seen from
keep
New
the
Zealand.
IPL auction notes to yourself. We'll have a special session for that.
Yes.
IPL retention rules coming soon. We'll have a special session. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, and the positive for them that Tim Southee has been evergreen. He's been able to keep a check on the run flow, and the replacement that they have to Kyle Jamieson, which is William Rourke. He's been a wicket taker for them, and I hope that they don't overuse him, because on these pitches, I feel that even though the Pacers might get a lot of wickets, they might leak a lot of runs. And when you play on such pitches, I feel an extra 20-30 runs can be a lot. We saw. Um, I think they were chasing 68, and on next day, and I think they just
Yeah.
scored 2 runs. So
Yeah.
it's very difficult to score runs in you can say Asian conditions, and the toss is really very crucial, because the team that bats last is always going to be you can
Under
say at a
pressure.
slightly
Yeah.
slightly
Yeah.
under, you can say, under the pump.
Yeah, I think anything about 250 in the last innings, it's always the bowling side which starts with an upper hand because, as you said, Asian conditions batting gets tougher and tougher as you progress to day 4 and day 5. But crucial WTC points on line for this game, and then New Zealand travel to India for the 3 match series where they can, if they can. Get 2 wins, then I mean obviously it's difficult because India has been dominating at home, but if they can get at least 1 win, if not two, they will stay in the competition for the WTC final because they first of all they need to win this second game. And the change which you are suggesting is just Michael Bracewell for Mitchell Santner, right, Kevin?
Yes,
Okay.
I wish
So
they could drop
yeah.
a Conway from Bill Young as well, but I don't think that's going to happen so early.
Yeah, I don't think that that's gonna happen. Just quickly, let's discuss about Sri Lanka as well. And the guy, the man in form, Kamindu Mendes. Jeez, this is some dream run. Averaging 74.7 in 7 test matches with 822 runs, 4 centuries, and 450s. Out of which one is in England, one is in Pakistan, if I'm not wrong, or against Pakistan, a couple in Sri Lanka. This is a dream run which every batsman could dream of, Kevin. And he scored a century in the first innings, just to put things in context. Failed in the second innings, but in the second innings, you had the likes of Karunaratne, Chandimal, Matthews. who got some runs and got that crucial lead about to 70, if I'm not wrong. So coming to Mendes, just a quick word on that. And do you think Sri Lanka have the ability to make it 2-0?
Yes, I think so. That they have a very good chance because in these conditions, their their batting is really good because there's a mix of young talent coming in through, and there is the experience in Chandimal, Dhananjay De Silva, Karunatri, and Matthews. And it's good that they're backing their youngsters in the bowling department as well, so they'll be fresh coming into this game. So, and in New Zealand, for that matter, I think it's that they are a limited team, so a lot of things have to click well for them to so that they can get the result. So even though they might be in the game for 60 to 70%, they might not be able to deliver the knockout punch because that the inexperience that they have in these conditions can be seen. So I feel that Sri Lanka can go ahead and make it 2-0, but definitely with New Zealand, you're bound to see some improvement. They're not going to, you can say, they'll make the game interesting. I feel so. I don't see them losing by an innings, but they lost by 60, they might lose by 30, is what I'm presuming.
Yeah.
So yeah, if they win the toss and they bat well in the first innings, then maybe things can be different. Because Sri Lanka bring in, you can say, a debutant off spin, and I'm a little surprised. I felt that Mendes has done pretty well,
Yeah, yeah,
but it doesn't kind of like change the balance that much because you have Dhananjay De Silva who bowls good off spin. So yes.
yeah. True. Three really, really tough. Three really, really exciting series going on, and I think this is one of the top series as well. The Sri Lanka New Zealand first Test match was right up there because you didn't know who is going to win until the last day. And eventually it was Sri Lanka who came up at the top with 66 run win. But having said that, watch out for the second Test match. I think it starts today in Sri Lanka and tonight in USA. So they're coming thick and fast. You have the England Australia fourth ODI on Friday, and similarly the India Bangladesh test starts on Friday as well. Somit, I think that should be the end of the show, or do you want
Yeah,
to
just
add
to
anything else?
conclude,
Yes.
yeah, so I just want your opinion on this. What is the possibility of not getting India versus Australia in WTC final? Within 30 seconds, I just want that percentage.
Very less chance. I think it's India Australia WTC final,
Yes.
June 11 to June 16. Lords, book your tickets.
Book your tickets. Yeah, yeah, let's do it. Let's go and book the tickets, or else they will kick me out. Yeah. Okay. Okay, then thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, Mr. Co-founder. So it was really nice hosting the podcast, and stay tuned for in future. Yeah.
Very,
Let's do
very,
it. Let's
some
do it. Let's
really,
do it.
really interesting things lined up. As I mentioned, just a trailer teaser. The IPL, once the IPL retention rules are dropped, we are here back with a huge discussion on the IPL retention. Kevin will be the main guy. He has done tons of analysis and insights. He will have a lot of insights in the IPL discussion. Somit will join us, and hopefully, a couple of guys from India will join us for that discussion. But Somit, let's try and do this a weekly thing now so that people can enjoy our podcast, What's Cooking.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. What's cooking? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'm ending the string.
We
Thank you
can
very
now.
much. Do like, share, and subscribe.